Hello and welcome back to JankTech. It's my series on Star Wars Unlimited with a focus on non-premiere formats, especially Twin Suns, hopefully some trilogy soon. Nothing sweaty, nothing super like, oh, we're going to go to this competition and we're going to beat everyone's butt real bad. But yeah, before I get it started real quick, I just wanted to ask y'all to please like and subscribe. I'm going to have Boba Fett coming out threatening disintegrations otherwise. And then a couple other things before I get into the meat and potatoes of this ridiculously titled deck tech video. I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of these discords up here. The swupdx discord, a great general purpose Pacific Northwest Star Wars Unlimited discord. We talk about previews, events, the works. You know, you want a bunch of people to talk to about Star Wars, you got it. And then this one is the Nightsisters Discord. I've been super active in this one more recently. This is a women's Star Wars Discord. So in addition to the regular kinds of previews and deck discussion card things, it's also just a great spot to hang out and have discussions not related to Star Wars in a great supportive environment. The picture up here is probably the final logo. We're actually going to be voting on those probably by the time this video is up. So if it ends up being different, I'm going to change it. Okay. And then one last exciting thing before we get it started. I am just going to put up the front page of swupdx real quick because there is a new episode of The Force Unlimited, and I'm actually the guest on there. It was very cool. I got to talk with Ned and Parker for the whole duration of their show. We got to play some trilogy that we talked about on the show. A lot of talking about jank and community and all kinds of great stuff. So if you're here because you watched that, welcome. It's great to have you. And if you are one of my normal people, please watch the podcast. It's a Spotify and Apple. There's also a YouTube, so you can see my smiling face interacting with them. And it was just a super great time getting to hang out with them. I'd love to get to do any of that again. I'd love for them to come and play some Twin Suns for this channel. There's all kinds of great stuff ahead. But yeah, that was super cool. Anyway, on with the show. What are we doing today? We have a Twin Suns deck that I've been playing a good amount recently called Mom, Where's My Dino Nuggies? So why am I calling it that? Well, we're using the newest Grand Inquisitor who has this total hangdog expression on his face. Like his mom gave him the regular chicken nuggets and he wanted the dino nuggets and he is throwing a tantrum. And in my headcanon, Darth Revan is Grand Inquisitor's mom serving the wrong nuggets. But you know what? They're going to work together because they've got some really fun synergies with each other in this format. I think Revan's a cool leader to build around regularly. I've tried to make GI work even in limited formats. I don't think he's all that great. But I think in Twin Suns with Revan, we can make a deck that's actually going to be pretty effective with other people. We slam in other people's stuff. We use Grand Inquisitor's ability here, which is action, exhaust him, use the Force, attack with a friendly unit. The defender gets -2, -0 for this attack. And then good old GI deploys on 5. He becomes a 3/5 with a shield that debuffs the defender -2, -0 for his attack. So yeah, you look at him, you're like, this guy doesn't seem that good. But okay, so here's the fun bit about it though. We got Revan on our side too. Revan says when a friendly unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, give an experience token to that friendly unit. So we are going to be using the Grand Inquisitor ability. We do need the Force, but if we have the Force, we use it, we attack with something, we make our guys take less damage, and then we exhaust Darth Revan and we give an experience to that unit. Darth Revan also flips at 5. This is a quick deck. There's not too much stuff in the upper part of the cost curve here. We want to have little guys that we want to build up with experience and keep alive. So what does Revan do? He is a 3/6. He is a Sith, which will be relevant for a few things in the deck. He's got Restore 1, and whenever a friendly unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may give an experience token to that friendly unit. he can just dole experience out like candy. Once he is deployed, you want to keep him alive. You want to get shields on him. You want to put sentinels out. You want to do all those sorts of great things. Revan is the glue that helps to bind this deck together. So what's in here? We're running with a green base, which means because Revan is one of our interesting leaders from Legends of the Force that only has a single aspect, which is villainy, we only have the aspect of cunning and of command. So we don't get as many cards to pick from, but because this is Twin Suns, at least we still have 2 colors instead of in Premiere when you only get the 1 or 0 if you want to be one of those people that runs Revan with Lake Country. So, let me know if you've got any good Revan Lake Country builds. I mean, I'm sure there's not really too much variation on it, but you know what I mean. Also, this deck is kind of a budget deck to start with. It's kind of interesting that the most expensive cards are the Stolen AT Hauler and the Darth Tyrannus Uncommon that came in the starter deck. So those are really the only ones that you might want to swap out if you want to make a budget version of this. But otherwise, like $50-ish isn't too bad for a Twin Suns deck, especially because if you have the starter deck, you likely have a lot of this stuff. Cool. So what is in here? We got 80 cards. Oh, right. I should mention we have the Force, the green Force base. When a friendly Force unit attacks, the Force is with you. 28 health base. I kind of wish there was a little bit more variance in some of the Force bases because I'm like, Jedi Temple. I don't want to have like bad guys in a Jedi Temple. I guess unless they're pillaging the place and eradicating younglings or something. But, it's kind of like the red bases were all sort of evil sounding, like the Strangled Cliffs and the Fortress Vader or whatever. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's only a base. It's essentially a place for us to put our damage counters, right? It's fine. Anyway, what have we got in here? We got 35 ground units. We got the Adept of Anger. It's a 1/3 action. Exhaust it. Use the Force to exhaust a unit. It's a Force unit that you can play on your very first turn. Great for attacking and getting the Force on your second turn, which you can then use to start empowering Grand Inquisitor's ability to debuff things. But also, like, you can exhaust anything with this. You can exhaust a leader with this. It just takes a Force and an exhaust. And it's like one of those doesn't do a whole lot on its own kind of units. So it's one of those things that people will probably leave alone and that you can politic into safety. We've got the Clone Dive Trooper from Twilight. Yeah, it's one of those like kind of cruddy coordinate units. It's a 2/1 coordinate. Well, this unit is attacking. The defender gets -2, -0. Guess what, though? If you have the Force with GI, you can attack with this for a -4, -0. Well, coordinate and Force. Point being, you can get a massive debuff if the conditions are right with the Clone Dive Trooper, and then you can start buffing it with Revan. I think that's a pretty good deal for a 1 cost. Of course, we got to have Greedo. Greedo, 3/1. When defeated, you may discard a card from your deck. If it's not a unit, deal 2 damage to a ground unit. We don't care as much about Greedo's ability. I mean, yeah, you can gamble to hurt things. That's not really what this deck does. This deck is just like, oh, we got a guy that can hit for 3 on turn 1 that only costs 1. And if you can avoid taking damage from attacking with Greedo, then great. You can start putting experience on him too. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot, but you know what? That's just where we are here. Jawa Scavenger. It's a 2/1 Saboteur. Once I finished making this deck, I realized I needed some more early game stuff. We can't use all of our units to do the crash into them and get XP if they survive. Sometimes you just need a 1 cost that you can play early on that can just do some damage to a base. Because, we are still here to deal damage to a base. Saboteur gets you damage on a base. And come on, it's another Jawa. Maybe we'll get more Jawas in the future. Who knows? I love that is a trait that they have on cards, though. But yeah, the Jawa doesn't have a huge amount of synergy, but it is just nice to still get some base damage. Aura Singh. This is one of my favorite cards from Legends of the Force. She's a 2-cost, 1/4 with hidden, so she can't be attacked if she was played this phase, and raid 2, so she hits for 3. She's got a big butt. If you use her with Grand Inquisitor, she will likely survive do a bunch of damage, and start getting big. And remember, in Twin Suns, removal is harder to come by. If someone starts getting a unit that gets a little big for its britches and starts snowballing with this deck, then it can become quite a big problem. Bib Fortuna, he's a shielded turn 1 unit that can discount events. We have some events in here that are used along with our leader abilities to let our units attack for various reasons. And Bib helps us to continue to play on curve if we want to get units out and attack with the ones that we have, using our fun events to make them attack more effectively. So I love him for that. Like, Bib is always going to be good in a deck, but especially because our events are targeted so much around keeping our guys alive, then we really like pulling him early on in the game. And also, he's got a shield, so anything you see with a shield in this deck means it can attack into something and not die. So, you know, if you use Bib to swing into somebody else's Greedo and kill the Greedo or anything else that has 1 health, then great. Bib lives, his shield goes away, and he gets an experience. Awesome. Crafty Smuggler, kind of same story. Turn 1 play that you can get a shield on immediately. Start hitting guys, start getting experience. Deceptive Shade, these are so cool. So it's a 2/3. When defeated, the next unit you play this phase gains ambush for this phase. So if we play our cards right and run into something with a Deceptive Shade, such as we play it turn 1, turn 2, we attack into something that we can easily kill, and then we can ambush out our next unit and kill something else, provided the Deceptive Shade dies, which, you know, maybe we ambush it into like one of those 2-cost 3/3 Sabine turn 1 plays. I'm blanking on the exact name, but you know what I mean. There's plenty of units that you can use Deceptive Shade with, which is great. Dr. Evazan, yeah. Let's give Evazan a chance to disappoint me one more time. I've gotten burned by him before. I'm willing to do it again in this deck because I think he's going to make Twin Suns real interesting. Sorry, I just needed to close Discord because I think the sound might be getting picked up, and, you know, people are talking a lot. It's like sector qualifiers time, and people are probably buying tickets and getting hyped. More on that at the end of the show. Anyway, so Evazan is a 2-cost 3/3 that is shielded, but the bounty, oh, his bounty, he is 1 on 12 systems, y'all. Like, Evazan is like, he's a bad dude. Whoever collects the bounty gets to ready up to 12 resources. I mean, that sounds like an absolutely ludicrous number. And it's like one of those things where it's like almost too big to mean anything. But essentially what that means here is you don't play him late game. Oh my, for the love of anything, do not play Evazan late game. Early game, not too bad. In fact, with some politicking, you might be able to get a person to collect that bounty that it doesn't benefit at all. But just be careful with Evazan. But until then, he's a 3/3 on turn 1. Start getting those experience on him, make him a real big target. Like, people are going to go after Evazan and be like, oh, maybe we need to get rid of this chump and not swing at your base. So that's also fine. Like, I like cards like this in this format. They really make weird stuff happen. Gifted Urchin, it's a 1/4. This is a turn 1 play that gets you the Force. I know it's not very exciting. If you get lucky and get an upgrade on it, that's fine. But really, it's like cards like this sort of enable the deck in subsequent turns, because if you can play this on your first turn, you just hit someone for 1. You're like, okay, guys, I'm just trying to keep everything even here. You know, it's one of those traditional Twin Suns politicking maneuvers. Like, we're just keeping everything even. We're all friends. Gifted Urchin, I'm sorry, I have to hit you for 1. You can hit me back for 1. I just need the Force, okay? We're hanging out. We're very cool. Kylo Ren, I love doing his point. He's a 2/3 with Overwhelm, and when you play an upgrade on him, you may use the Force. If you do, draw a card. Again, he is a Force unit that you can play on your first turn that will give you the Force with your base. Unfortunately, putting upgrades on him with Revan does not trigger his ability because putting an experience onto a unit isn't the same as playing an upgrade on him. Too bad, but there are a couple upgrades in here, but really we just want Kylo to get us the Force, just even a little bit. Okay, Kylo, can you do that for us, please? Mysterious Hermit, again, it's a 1/4 ambush Force unit. You play this turn 1, you get the Force. Like, hopefully somebody else plays a ground unit before you, but in today's ground unit heavy meta, then yeah, someone's going to have something for you to swing into, unless you have the misfortune of having this as your only turn 1 play and you start with the initiative. Wah wah. Boba Fett Disintegrator. This card is only worth like $5 now, y'all. I can't even believe it. Like, it was so expensive for so long a year ago. I guess people don't care about Boba Fett anymore. I care about you, Boba Fett. You belong in this deck, okay? The Disintegrator is a 3/5 on attack. If this unit is attacking an exhausted unit that didn't enter play this round, deal 3 damage to the defender. So notice that our cool leader ability here, when a friendly unit attacks and defeats a unit, that means that unit that you say, I am attacking blank unit with Boba Fett. You have attacked with Boba Fett and you have used his ability to defeat a unit. That unit is still defeated, so you can still get an experience on Boba Fett, no questions asked. If it was like within 3 health of dying, you didn't even have to use GI's ability. Boba Fett is great with Revan. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cell Block Guard, it's 3/3 Sentinel. Gums up the works. Every single episode I say Sentinel, 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 Sentinel. Make it harder for people to attack you. Make it easier for other people to attack other people. Cell Block Guard is still doing his duty. Standing guard, keeping people from attacking you. Just like what more can you ask from a turn 2 play? Well, I mean, actually Fallen Jedi does a lot of work for us too as a turn 2 play. It's a 3/4 with no abilities, but it is a Force unit, so we can start using it to get the Force every subsequent turn. It's not very exciting. I mean, this is one of those cards that you put in a deck in a draft because it's a reasonable stat line for its cost and enables the Force. And that's pretty much what it's in here for too, because we're one aspect short of what probably everyone else at the table is using. So we've got to make do with what we can get in order to get the Force to enable our Force stuff. Knight of Ren. It is a 4/4 for 3. So what does that mean in this deck? It means that even if we don't have GI's ability online and ready to go, because we don't have the Force, because we did not luck out and get the right units, well, this is still a 4/4. You can swing into something with this and it's probably going to live. It is huge. It'll just kill stuff. You'll be able to beef it up with Darth Revan. So it's kind of like one of those, if there's nothing else, Knight of Ren will get you there. It may not be as elegant as Boba Fett, but you know what? It'll do the trick. Phase 3 Dark Trooper. It's basically just a better version of the Cell Block Guard, but in this deck, having 2 cards that do kind of the same thing for 3 are great. So it's a 3/3 Sentinel. When combat damage is dealt to this unit, give an experience token to this unit. This is awesome. It basically does Revan's ability built in. So if we can actually attack something with this and kill it, then we can double dip on our XP and make it huge. Oh, please. Oh my gosh, I want that. The Praetorian Guard. It's a 2/5. If you control a unit with 4 or more power, this unit gains Sentinel. Great. It is another Sentinel that's in our 3-drop position. It can potentially get real big. I mean, yes, it is a conditional sentinelizing, but we're going to be putting experience on stuff. We are going to have units that have 4 or more power, especially having our leaders deploy so early on and getting that experience sprinkle around everywhere. Like, I'd feel pretty confident that that guy's going to work out just fine pretty much any time you play him in the game. Shin Hati. The evil fee. I'm hoping to dress as her for Halloween. We'll see. I like saying I'm going to do things for Halloween and then not do them. It's one of my trademark end of October maneuvers. Anyway, she's a she's a 4/2 hidden shielded force unit for 3. She's awesome. Like, you can't run into her the turn she comes out. And then she's got a shield so she can smack into something, get you the force, and then boom, experience. 5/3 immediately after attacking. Yes, please. Bosk, Hunt by Instinct. Or if you have the Judge version, Boy Band Bosk, the bad one. So Bosk is kind of good either way you play him in this deck. So he's a 4/4 for 4 on attack, exhaust the defender, and deal 1 damage to it. So if something has 1 health left, Bosk can get experience for free with Revan's ability. And even if it doesn't, you can still debuff something with Grand Inquisitor, get even 1 damage ahead, and hopefully get huge. Like, I think Bosk is real good. Or you can put him onto a vehicle with a piloting cost of 2. Attached unit gains on attack, exhaust the defender, and deal the damage to it if it's a unit. +2/+2. So again, he does kind of the same thing whether he's piloting or not. And having that ability for your ships is really good. Like, you stick him on a lurking TIE Phantom. Oh my gosh, you are eating real good. Charging Philic. Love this little Chonkus in draft, but I think here it works great too. 4 cost, 3/4 hidden ambusher. So you ambush that in, you hopefully kill some, get an experience, and nobody can hit it back for that phase. Awesome. Love it. I know it still dies to removal. This is Twin Suns, though. We can work around this with good politics and the fact that removal is inconsistent in an 80 card format. Darth Tyrannus. This is like a $7 card now. I can't even believe it. I mean, it's awesome. If you are running villain deck with force, you put Tyrannus in there. He's as good in every villain force deck. 4/3 for 4. So he hits big. He's got a shield, and he gets ambush while the force is with you. So it does hurt if you don't have the force when you play him. But oh my gosh, if you do, the fact that he's got a 3 size butt means that you've got some options. Like, you can kill something that deals 2 or less damage and just say, I'm going to do the ambush part before the shielded part, and then stick his shield on him to protect him. Or you can just ambush him in to something that you really need to kill. You'll still get the experience. You'll just ping your shield off. I think it's great. I love the whole interplay between ambush and shields in this game. I think it makes you make really interesting decisions, and it makes units like this one so good and so useful in a wide variety of situations. Yeah, let's stick another Dooku in there, huh? So he's a 5/4 force unit. He's hidden, and when played, each friendly unit with hidden can't be attacked for this phase. This is great. We've got a few things with hidden sprinkled around, but honestly, he's just another force unit at this point in our cost curve that I think works well with the other things that we're doing. And plus, okay, to reiterate how force bases work in this game, if you use Grand Inquisitor's action, again, action, exhaust him, use the force, attack with a friendly unit. You are using the force to attack with a friendly unit with a force base, and if you have a force unit, you will immediately generate the force when you are attacking. So as long as you have it before you start your attack, you'll get it again if you're attacking with a force unit, which is great for someone like Dooku, who, I mean, I think all the Dookus generally they do a lot more damage than they can take, and being able to use that and then immediately be refreshed for any other force shenanigans is pretty awesome, actually. All right, okay, look, y'all knew we had to have the Drankier spawn in here, okay? So it's a 4 cost, 3/3 with Overwhelm. When this unit attacks and defeats a unit, give a number of experience tokens to this unit equal to the defeated unit's cost. Okay, so this thing, every time I play it, it gets killed immediately. Because obviously, if you can kill even one thing, it's going to get big, and it's going to get big fast. So it's one of my Timmy Tammy fantasies that I get to attack into something way bigger and then immediately like, it's an 11-11. So let me take a sidebar here and talk briefly about magic archetypes. I think I cover this in another video somewhere, but whatever, this will be fast. So there are people that think that there are 3 types of CCG players in this world. And this is basically like, all this comes from magic. There are the spikes who are the tournament grinders that they want to win all the time. There are the Johnnies who want to have some sort of cool combo. And if their cool combo works, then they're happy. Yeah, guess who falls into that category most of the time? And then there's the Timmies or the Tammies of the world. And they just want the really big creature. They just want to swing with their chonkas. They want to do 11 damage to someone's base with a roided up Drengir spawn. So I fit into this category sometimes too. I know that the Drengir spawn is likely not going to be long for this world, but it deserves a chance, and if anyone is going to enable the Drengir spawn to live and do its thing, it is Malik, and it is the new Grand Inquisitor. So please, someone play this for your girl, and then comment back, hey, I did it. I played shoot first with a Drengir spawn on something that had 1 HP and was a 6 cost, and it got really big. Okay, cool. We got the Jedi Temple Guards. Oh, these guys are great. So it was a card that I felt was a little underwhelming at first, but oh my gosh, after playing this in like drafts, holy moly, like this card is great. So it's a 2/4. It's a force unit with ambush. So again, it will give you the force when you attack with it. Since it's an ambush, it gives you the force right away, and it has restore too. Restore is always useful in this format. You're getting nickel and dimed every single round because someone is blasting and you're not always going to be the one blasting. So this one helps mitigate that. It has a fairly sizable butt. It might not always kill something when it first ambushes out. If it does, awesome, like give this experience and it's going to become a real big problem. But it's so useful for getting you a little bit of breathing room, for getting you the force if you need the force for something else. I like them a lot. Lifewind Sage, the Fart Sage. We're going to talk for a channel where I talk about butts a lot. Of course, we're going to talk about farts occasionally. Come on, farts and butts are just peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots. It's a 3/5 force unit for 4. While an enemy unit is exhausted, this unit gains raid 2. That's awesome. We're playing with 3 other people. Someone's going to have something exhausted. We're going to swing for 5 and get the force. Yes, please. I want that. That's awesome. Agent Callus. Oh, man. So Agent Callus is a 4/4 with ambush. When another unique unit is defeated, you may draw a card. Use this ability only once each round. So Callus, if he can do his attack without dying, great. If he can survive, unique units are going to die all the time. This is Twin Suns. People have leaders out, especially Callus comes out at 5 resources or later. So this is around the time that leaders are going to be on the table. It's great to get that extra card draw. It's great to have a guy that can just instantly attack. I kind of wish he cost a little bit less. But I think for a 5 cost, if you are able to use him to smash into something smaller than himself, then he's going to profit a lot from it. Balin's Skull. Okay, so Balin's a 5/5 hidden force unit. When played, you may use the force. If you do, return a non-leader unit that costs 4 or less to its owner's hand, then its owner may play it for free. So what is cool about Balin? Balin lets you do this to either your stuff or someone else's stuff. So if you've got some guys that you ambushed into something, maybe you ambushed a Darth Tyrannus out into something and his shield got pinged off and you're like, I don't know if he's going to survive another round. You can say, okay, Balin, get him out of here, and then we can replay him. You can also use it to bounce someone else's stuff. Maybe someone played something incredibly cool, and maybe somebody smuggled in Cassian Andor, and now he's ready, and you're just like, okay, well, you can play Cassian again, and now you just spent 5 resources for an exhausted unit, because when it comes back into play, it's exhausted. Or maybe somebody put a General's Blade on a Jedi, and you're like, no, we are bouncing the Jedi, which defeats any upgrades on it, and then it comes back in exhausted. So there's a lot you can do with Balin. I think thematically it's meant to work with Shin Hati, because then she's hidden, so she'll come back with a fresh shield and she won't be attackable. So that's kind of cool too. So there's like a lot of interesting tricks you can do with him. And also he's a 5/5, so he can probably kill stuff when he swings at it. So a lot of good stuff with Balin. Boba Fett, yeah, we got more Fetts in here. Come on. So he's either a 5/4 shielded for 5, which is pretty good, honestly. It's another thing that he's got a shield. You can run into something and get an experience. Awesome. And then you can also play him as a pilot for 2 to just make something +2, +3. I think it's a good kind of flexible thing with him, because we've got some transports in here, of course. So you're not going to have the worst time if you put Boba Fett on one of those, because you'll get an extra little bit of ping damage from that. And also usually transports have pretty big butts, so it's a good way to keep something safe for a little bit longer. Darth Malak, of course we got to have Malak in here. And if I've been saying Malak instead of Revan when I've been meaning to say Revan, at all points before this point in this video, I have meant to say Revan instead of Malak. Their names just have certain cadences that are kind of the same. I get them mixed up easily. They're both out of canon. They're Legends characters. I don't know anything about them, except obviously they don't want their faces shown. All that aside, I think Malak is awesome. He's a 4/7 with Overwhelm, but when played, this is where he's really cool. If you control a Sith leader unit, you may ready this unit. And of course, his BFF leader friend, Revan, is a Sith unit that deploys on 5 resources. So that is one of the cool plays with this deck, is you use Revan's ability after you've attacked with something and killed it on your 5 resource turn. Maybe you use Grand Inquisitor, deploy Grand Inquisitor, then deploy Revan, then bring out ready Malak. Like, you've got a lot of nastiness on the table when all that happens, if people let you get away with it. And like a lot of times on the 5 resource turn, if you can delay enough, like, oh, I'll attack with my little guy here, I'll attack with my little guy here, and hopefully people will spend their stuff, then you're just like, oh, and I'll play a ready Malak. And then you're like, oh, geez, I've made myself a target. I think it's pretty fun. I love him. I think for a 5 cost with a 7 size butt, like, come on. He is designed to smash into stuff and just get huge. Heck yeah. You see Malak, you play Malak. Like, you love seeing Malak in this deck. Rook, it's Thrawn's homie. Oh my god. So he's a 3/6 shielded, and when this unit deals combat damage to a non-leader unit while attacking, defeat that unit. That's so good in this deck. Rook just needs to hit something and deal at least 1 damage. As long as he can just not have to deal with shields, Rook just kills anything. And since he comes in with a shield, it's highly likely that he can just use his death touch, his just on something. I know, magic term, sorry. Death touch is just what Rook does, essentially. And so he's a great candidate to use Malak's ability and also GI's debuffing. It's worth noting that if GI stays alive after he deploys, he can't use his debuff ability on your other units. He only uses it on himself. So this means that after his deploy, if he sticks around, which by the way is great, because like he can kind of punch above his weight class in terms of removing units and hopefully get big because of Malak's ability. But it does mean that anything that comes out after you deploy him is less likely to capitalize on his debuffing ability. So just keep that in mind. Eighth brother, hunt together. Come on, we got to have like another Inquisitor in here, right? They love hunting with each other. It's a 5/7 with ambush. When you play another unit, you may use the Force. If you do, give a unit +2/+2 for this phase. Great. Well, obviously, Eighth Brother is going to give you the Force, and on a subsequent turn, hopefully, you'll be playing some units. You'll be using the Force, ideally multiple times if you have multiple Force units out, and just buffing the heck out of your dudes. I think Eighth Brother is real cool. I think he's a cool kind of top end in this deck. And I'm going to play him if I have 6 resources in here. Kragan Gore. I might actually be more likely to play Kragan Gore before Eighth Brother. 6/6, when an enemy unit attacks your base, give a shield token to a friendly unit in the same arena as the defender. Yo, oh my God. I love this card in this deck so much. I had a time playing this deck in a group where Kragan Gore was tossing shields out left and right. Like, because it's 6 resources, we're starting to get to the point in the game where you're like, people are really putting damage on bases. Well, for us, that's great. We say, okay, great. This GI that has 3 experience on him, let's give him another shield and then swing into one of your guys and kill it. And then get even bigger. So it makes people have to do extra considerations before doing anything against you. So if someone's like, oh, if I hit you, Kragan Gore will give one of your guys a shield. So maybe I hit someone else instead. Anytime you make someone else do more work mentally is good for you. I feel like I sound like awful sometimes, like when I talk about my politicking strategy, but it's absolutely true. Making people work as hard as they can in order to attack you effectively is a great strategy. And like, there's a lot of mental load already in this format when you're considering tracking 3 different people's and your own board state, thinking about what plays they possibly can have. I think it just makes the political aspect even more interesting. And so Kragan Gore not only is a good card in his own merits, that happens to work well with this deck because he empowers your leaders to help your units do the things you're already trying to do with them, but he also forces people to have to make additional decisions, which is just wonderful. Speaking of shields, Sorcerers of Tund. It's a 6/6 for 6. It's a Force unit, and it's got a shield. It's nothing fancy, but you know what? Like, you have this in your top end, and you can start taking guys out pretty easily with it, or swinging for a whole lot and not having a whole lot interrupt you. I think it's a pretty cool unit, even though, granted, most of the time I would call this like a draft bomb. I don't think anyone's going to call this a bomb in a in a constructed environment, but still, I think it's a good card in this deck. The Sun, 6/8 for 7. Force unit. Well, the Force is with you. Each friendly unit gets +2/+0. Do you know how scary that is? To have a board full of all of a sudden everything is buffed units, especially if you're getting shields on them, especially if you put a bunch of experience on them already. Like, the Sun is awesome as your top end card. Oh my gosh. So I hope that anyone that makes this deck gets the Sun out and then just like, come at me, bro. Like, my guys are so powerful now. Okay, we got 22 space units. We got a droid starfighter. It's a 1/2 for 1 saboteur. You can just get some guaranteed damage. Again, I think that with the card pool the way it is now, with how many Force units we have in just 2 colors, we need to say, we'll take our early game plays where we can get them. And this might just mean that, like, you know, if you can get a droid starfighter, you get a droid starfighter, and tell everyone what a little guy you are. And be like, well, this person has Adigalia. This person's got a Jedi Consular in the Force. Like, I just got this little baby. So hopefully you can keep your little baby alive, stick Boba Fett or Bosk on it, and hopefully later you can get some more experience. But there's a few ways of like making the most of some of these kinds of units, as we'll see when we get to our events. The Forged Starfighter, again, it's another little baby unit. It's a 1/1 with hidden raid 1, so at least it does a decent amount of hitting. and you can't crash into it. I mean, it's still weak to being pinged at, but what are you going to do? And the TIE LN, it's, it's still a classic. It's still a 2-1 for 1 in space. So I'm not going to feel bad if I have this in my hand for a turn 1 play. Cartel Spacer, now we're talking. It's a 2-3. If you control another cunning unit, when played, exhaust an enemy unit that costs 4 or less. That's great. There's a few units in here that thrive on punishing exhausted enemy units. And even if you don't have any of them, you're still preventing somebody from doing something with that unit for that turn. So that can be pretty obnoxious. Exegol Patroller, it's a 3-1 with Overwhelm. So kind of like with our heavy damage, low health ground units, same thing here. We hope that we can use Grand Inquisitor to prevent the Exegol from taking damage. So if you attacked into a TIE fighter and used Grand Inquisitor to give the TIE fighter -2/-0, then great. The Exegol would then hit the base for 2 because of Overwhelm and get an experience. So like it's just going to keep on getting bigger and badder and stronger. I think it's a real cool card. Mercenary Gunship. It's another great turn 1 play that later on in the game, I would say you're better off resourcing unless you want to get real spicy and have people just fight over it. But again, this is Twin Suns, so if you're really good at making people fight over things in certain ways, maybe you want to play this late game. I do think it's a good early game. It's got enough juice to kill a lot of things in space, and with Grand Inquisitor's ability, you can hopefully prevent it from dying and get an experience. Outer Rim Headhunter. So it's a 1-3 with raid 1, and on attack, if you control a leader unit, you may exhaust a non-leader unit. This is great. We have leaders that deploy at 5, so if you can get this out early, then you can exhaust things when you attack. That's great. This is great. I mean, I'd say later on it's not as good, but I think this is another one that can do a decent amount of work early on for your deck. Privateer Sick. It's a 2-2. Will you control another cunning unit? This unit gains shielded. And again, there's a good amount of cunning units in this deck, so this is probably going to come in at the shield, and the shield means we can crash into something else. We kill it, we get an experience. You know the drill at this point. Black Sun Starfighter. Sentinel in space. No one wants to swing into this if they have an option of not having to deal with a Sentinel. So great. Make your space less like the place to be and encourage people to attack people, not you. Same thing, Contracted Jump Master, or as I love calling this, the Yump Master. Things, we just get silly here. I'm not gonna lie. It's a 2-4 Sentinel. It's awesome. It's a transport. It's got some of my favorite art. Anything that Space Goose does, I love. Like I've seen some of their new art in the next set. It's another ship card that looks extremely cool. They also did the strike ship from the Darth Maul deck. It's like everything done by Space Goose. I'm just like, oh yeah, like they just make such cool, fun, colorful ship art. Houndstooth, awesome. Houndstooth is one of those kinds of units that we wish we had more of in here. It's a 4-3, so it kind of dies a little bit more easily. But while attacking an exhausted unit that didn't enter play this phase, this unit deals combat damage before the defender. So we can kill things with the Houndstooth and get experience at absolutely no risk to itself. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Lurking TIE Phantom, come on. We got to put Lurking TIE in pretty much anything with villainy yellow. It's just, it prevents people from playing Power of the Dark Side on you, because you can always say, oh, I choose the Lurking TIE to get defeated. Oh, wait, it can't be defeated. Oh, no. And it just looks extremely cool. It's a 2-2 with raid 2. Can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities, so they have to run into it with something else or play something like only no glory, only results. And this is an excellent candidate to get as much experience on as possible, to put pilots on, because it is that much harder for someone to deal with. Love this. Love this in a deck that wants you to stack upgrades on things. Sanctioners Shuttle. It's just so good. It's a 2-3 coordinate. that captures an enemy non-leader unit that costs 3 or less. And it's a transport, so you could stick Boba Fett on it if you really wanted to. So this one, yeah, we don't want to use this to smash into things because we do want to use it to remove problem units from the board. But being able to remove a unit and get a unit is great in this game. Like, that is a wonderful tempo advantage. 7th Fleet Defender, it's a 3/2 with a shield. So you can crash it into something. You can hopefully either debuff to not lose your shield with Grand Inquisitor's ability, or you just ping off your shield and you'll still get an experience from Revan. Stolen AT Hauler. It's a 4/5 for 3 that makes the game real interesting. So it's got a big enough butt that you can likely attack into something and survive long enough to get an experience. Of course, we do have the when defeated, choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard pile for free. What's very cool about this is if this thing dies after someone has already taken the initiative, then you say, oh, you, the player that already has initiative, you can play this phase for free. And they'll be like, oh, that sounds great. And then be like, oh no, I can't take any more actions this phase. Wah, wah. But it is also fun to let this go around the table, to make deals with players that hopefully aren't going to break them, or if they do break them, it's in funny ways, and say, oh, I'll give it to you if you hit this person over here. Like, let's work together and take these 2 people out. I just call this the K-Fighter because I have no idea how to pronounce this word. It's a 3/3 with Overwhelm. On attack, you may exhaust another friendly unit. Maybe you have a droid starfighter out, and you're just like, I'll just exhaust the droid starfighter and give the K-Fighter +3/+0 for that attack. So anytime you can massively make things, massively punch harder, then you can kill stuff, then you can get experience. Like, it's another card that works great if you're using Grand Inquisitor's debuff ability. The Scimitar. I think the Scimitar is very cool. In this deck, it's a 3/4. When damaged, it gets +3/+0. So it can hit way harder if it has even a little bit of damage on it, which is great because if you get experience on there too, this thing is just going to get huge. So you kill something with this, get an experience, that thing is going to have 7 attack power. You should just go right to base the next time with that. That is awesome. Love the Scimitar here. Shuttle ST-149. It's a 3/4. It's shielded, and when played and when defeated, you may take control of a token upgrade on a unit and attach it to a different eligible unit. So this means you can stick the shield on something else to prevent it from dying, so you can kill something and get an experience. It means you can take an experience from something that's already attacked and give it to something that hasn't already attacked. There's like a lot you can do moving experience and shields around. Of course, you can take a shield off of an opponent's unit and put it on one of yours before you attack into it. I love this card in this deck, being that we're going to be dealing with moving shields and experience around all the time. Heck yeah, Shuttle ST-149. Strafing Gunship. It's a 3/4 for 4, not a great deal, but it can attack units in the ground arena, and while it's attacking a ground unit, the defender gets -2/-0. It could be -4/-0 with the Grand Inquisitor debuff. So we have this to kind of clean up the ground with impunity. You know, if someone's hitting back at -4, the strafing gunship's likely going to be okay. So kill something, we get an experience, life is good. MC-30 Assault Frigate. It's a 5/5 with Overwhelm and Raid 1, so it hits for 6. Anything in this deck with Overwhelm gives you extra value because not only do you get to get the experience, but also you get to do some damage to the base, ideally. One of the issues I found playing Revan is that you have to know when to pivot because you want to spend a lot of time attacking other people's units because it gets units off the board. It beefs up your guys, assuming they survive, but that means that you are not attacking into the base. So you've got to say to yourself, well, there's a certain point where my units actually need to start attacking the base instead of other units. Well, This one, you don't have to make that choice. It's got Overwhelm, you big, beautiful capital ship. Techno Union Transport. It's a 4/5 with a shield. So you can attack into something, ping off the shield. It's going to live. It's got a 6 size butt. It's likely going to live anyway. But still, like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good in this deck. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest card ever. But it's a solid include that won't die when you crash it into something, and it'll get stronger, and then yada yada. You know the story at this point. And the Radiant 7, the hot dog ship. 5/6, each enemy non-leader unit gets -1/-0 for each damage on it. When played, deal 5 indirect damage to a player. So this is just more, we wanted some top end that would sort of synergize with our stuff a little bit. I mean, it's not like directly obviously synergistic, but it is nice that we can debuff things and swing into them in the late game if we have to. And if we are playing this at 7 resources, dealing 5 indirect damage to a player, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want my guys to get debuffed. I guess I need to take that damage to my base. Well, then great. You just did maybe 5 indirect damage to their base. Awesome. Okay, we got events. So like I was saying earlier when I was talking about Bib Fortuna, a lot of these events are meant to enable our units to attack other units and survive, or just get the most out of our units being on the board. A great example is Dogfight. Attack with the unit, even if it's exhausted, it can't attack bases for this attack. So if you have an extra resource after you bring something out, maybe you had 4 resources, you played Shin Hati, and then you play Dogfight. You attack with her, ping off her shield. She's still good to go. She gets an experience. She can't get attacked back, but then she's a 5/3 that they have to worry about. So I really like the way that this can work with some of your cards in here. If you get a really good line of plays, you could play Dooku the next turn, hide her again, some fun stuff. But yeah, this giving you the ability to kill things with your guys, with units that you just brought out, is awesome. Or by the same token, if say you attacked into something after Revan was deployed, killed it, use Dogfight, attack with that something into another something, get another experience. It just gets so good. It gets so good. Force Slow. So this is one of those cards that I feel like only maybe gets played in draft, and even then probably not too much. Given an exhausted unit, -8, -0 for this phase. In this deck, I think it works because we are trying to kill things by running into them most of the time. So this enables us to take something out that might be kind of a pain in the butt otherwise, and still get a little bit of experience from Malik for our troubles. So I just did it again. A little experience from Revan for our troubles. We'll get there. Yeah, it's not like the most amazing card, but I think it is fun to use here because it does synergize with our leader abilities and help us do the things that we already want to do. I have you now. Attack with a vehicle unit. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to it during this attack. Great. We can even swing with our little guys with this card and then still hopefully kill something, not die back, and get experience. So you could use this with your lurking TIE Phantom against something that has 4 health that would have killed it otherwise. And boom, boom. Now you got a living lurking TIE with an experience. Impossible escape. You may either exhaust a friendly unit or use the force. If you do either, exhaust an enemy unit and draw a card. That's great. So this not only replaces itself, but also exhausts something else. I think that's really great, especially if you're using Boba Fett or you're using the Houndstooth or Bosk or something like that. You can just do a little bit extra. Neiman Strike. Attack with a force unit. Even if it's exhausted, it gets +1/+0 and can't attack bases for this attack. So it's a dogfight for force units, and it makes them stronger, more likely to kill something, and then get experience. Heck yeah. Recruit. We're playing Twin Suns. There's only so many force units to go around. This helps you get them. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help sifting through your 80 card deck. Shoot first. Part of the reason that I wanted to do this in yellow with Revan. attack with a unit, it gets +1/+0 for this attack and deals its combat damage before the defender. I love this card so much with Revan. Just the idea that you can just kill something, and as long as that +1 gets you there, then you're golden. You got yourself an experience. Awesome. Swoop down, attack with a space unit. It gains Saboteur. It can attack ground units for this attack. If it attacks a ground unit, it gets +2/+0, and the defender gets -2/-0. No one's going to expect this. This is one of those Shadows rares that no one ever actually ended up playing, as far as I know. Well, I take that back. I think there is one person in the Nightsisters Discord that was trying to make it work in the Vader Pilot Yellow deck, but recently gave up on it. Well, you can play it in this. You can play it in this deck. In fact, I think this deck has a decent amount of things that are in that deck. I mean, okay, it has a few. This is great at removing problem ground units. Unfortunately, it doesn't stack with the Grand Inquisitor buff, the Grand Inquisitor debuff, but still having that native -2/-0 just from the card here, being able to attack anything that you want because there's Saboteur. I think there's a lot of things that this does, so that it can be pretty good. Tactical advantage. Give a unit +2/+0 for this phase. So normally I don't think these cards are that useful. I think in this deck it works out good because it gives your unit a big temporary advantage that will make it much easier for them to actually kill something, and getting that experience afterwards is going to make up for the difference in losing that +2/+2 buff at the end of the phase. And also, like, maybe you just want to hit with Revan for 5 instead of 3 because he's a little baby. I think making your guys incrementally better is kind of the name of this deck here. Trust your instincts. It's a shoot first, but use the force. Use the force. If you do attack with a unit, it gets +2/+0 for this attack and deals its combat damage before the defender. Yet again, another way for us to kill things without taking any damage in return. So these were all one-cost events. So if you're using Bib Fortuna, these are all going to be freebies. We love that. We love being able to just make it a little bit easier, especially in the early part of the game, to use our guys to kill stuff, to buff our guys. Bamboozle. Obviously, we're going to be discarding a cunning card from our hand instead of paying the event's cost. Exhaust a unit, return each upgrade on it to its owner's hand. So that just gets rid of shields, it gets rid of experience. And if they don't have any more resources, if they've got a lightsaber or a craving power, well, maybe you don't do that with a craving power, but you get my point. Like, if something has a problem upgrade on it, it can be worth discarding a card in order to play this for free. Consumed by the dark side. Give 2 experience tokens to a unit, then deal 2 damage to it. So I love this card for many reasons. I love it in this deck because a lot of the guys have shields. So you just get 2 experience tokens and then ping off your shield. Oh no. Or like worst case scenario is you'll have the same amount of health you started with, but now you'll just deal even more damage. I think this card is great. I like it more when I can play it with grit, but you know what? I think it's still real good in this deck. 3 lessons. Play a unit from your hand. It gains hidden for this phase. Give an experience token and a shield to it. So yes, it does cost 2, which is expensive. But I'm thinking this is the card for Drengir spawn. Okay, y'all? I'm saying it. On your 5 resource turn, you give the Drengir spawn 3 lessons and just start eating good. I mean, obviously, yes, you can use this with plenty of other things, and it is useful with many other things, being that you would like to have a shield on your guys if you're going to be trying to keep them alive. I think this is an interesting one. It's definitely not like a good all the time card, but I think there are situations in this deck with plenty of these units where it's going to be very, very good in the right place. I mean, you can even give this to one of your ambush guys. You can ambush out your 2-cost 1/4 Mysterious Hermit with this. So yeah, it's going to be a 2/5. Is that worth it for that much? I don't know, but I'm just saying there are times when this is going to be super useful. Like maybe you use this with Darth Tyrannus. Maybe you use this with who else would this be good? One of your sentinels even. So a lot of good stuff. Of course, sentinel takes precedence over hidden, so but it'll still have an experience and a shield. So I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff with 3 lessons. Overpower, give a unit +3/+3 and overwhelm for this phase. Yeah, this is one that I don't think really sees play either. This is one of those LOF draft common cards. But again, being able to get overwhelm on something that didn't already have it is going to be great, because that's going to mean you damage space, you remove something, you get an experience. Overpower enables that, and I think that's very cool. Of course, Waylay. Just return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. We got to have some removal that's not crashing our stuff and other stuff. But yeah, like Waylay will get us there. The Will of the Force. Return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. You may use the Force. If you do, that player discards a random card from their hand, which is super rude. And if they had no cards in their hand before you return something, then there's a 100% chance that the card they just returned is going away. Liberated by Darkness. This is one of my pet cards from this set. I love this card. Use the Force. If you do, take control of a non-leader unit. At the start of the regroup phase, its owner takes control of it. So this is a cool card to just turn someone else's unit into a kamikaze unit for your own nefarious weird in this format. Like, you don't want to use this on something that's going to stay around. You want to use this to crash into something and just annihilate 2 units that weren't yours at the same time. If you want to be real mean, you could use this on somebody's unit that was already exhausted and then dogfight with it. I think that there's some real fun tricks that you can do with a card like this. And also, Barris just looks super cool. Or whoever that is. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with lore. Again, I watch a lot of Star Trek. Overwhelming Barrage. Come on, we gotta have Overwhelming Barrage in here. It's like the classic green villainy removal card. And when this rotates out, I bet there's gonna be so many people that are not gonna know what to do with themselves. But hey, this is Twin Suns. We put whatever we want in whatever deck we want, right? That's right. That's what us Twin Suns players do. Anyway, give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. Then it deals damage equal to its power. Divide it as you choose among any number of other units. So we do have a decent amount of units that come in fairly overstated in their strength department. So Overwhelming Barrage on them is just going to be a nice little mini board clear. Or you just maybe sprinkle some damage around so you can easily kill guys and get a whole bunch of experience. So it's kind of like, I know Overwhelming Barrage is most commonly used as a complete board wipe, but in this one, in this situation, it might not be the best thing to try to kill everything. You want to leave some things out that you can get a benefit from. Okay, we got some upgrades. Corrupted Saber, attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is a force unit, it gains on attack. The defender gets -2, -0 for this attack, and you get a +2/+1. I love Corrupted Saber in Revan so much. And if you can stick this thing on Grand Inquisitor, you get a -4, -0 on the defender every time you attack. That is such a large debuff. Oh my gosh. Like, Corrupted Saber is just one of the few cards in this game that you look at it and you're like, you go so good. You go so good with Grand Inquisitor. Get that poor little guy's the correct nuggies. Come on. This one does it. Darth Revan's lightsabers. Of course, Darth Revan's lightsabers. If attached unit is a Sith, it gains grit. Attached to a non-vehicle unit, it's +2/+2. Yeah, sticking this on Revan is great. But because, like, the grit part is also useful because our guys are going to take damage or crash them into other people. So, like, this will get you some real big swings. Highly likely that people will see that and be like, oh, we got to take care of this. And everyone will gang up on that one unit for a little bit. But it'll make the table situation real interesting. And it's potentially very powerful. Inquisitor's lightsaber. Attached to a non-vehicle unit, attached unit gains while attacking a force unit. This unit gets +2, +0, and it's a +1, +3, so it makes butts bigger. It makes it easier for us to kill certain types of units. And anytime you can increase the survivability of your own units, then that is going to be great. It is going to give you an extra bit of time to accrue experience before swinging at base. Legal authority. I love legal authority so much. It's so hard to not put it in every green deck, but honestly, it goes in this one. So attached to a friendly unit, when played, attached unit captures an enemy non-leader unit with less power than it, and it adds +0, +2. We're making our butt bigger. We're getting rid of another unit. We're making it easier to not die when we swing into something else. Great card in this deck. Love it. And then Craving Power. Attached to a friendly unit. When played, deal damage to an enemy unit equal to attached unit's power, and you get a +2, +0 when you play it. So this is kind of like a little mini overwhelming barrage on whatever unit is lucky enough to get it. So it's not necessarily the worst thing to put this on one of your leaders when you deploy, because they're both pretty weak little dudes. But I might also save it if I was you. So like there's, again, it's an upgrade that you can do a lot of different stuff with. So I think it's pretty cool there. And that's it. That's the deck. I would love to know if anybody makes this and has had similar results as me, because again, I've had pretty positive results playing this in real life with other people, and I very much enjoy it because Grand Inquisitor is not a leader that gets any sort of love, and we're trying to give him at least a situation where he has the possibility of actually doing something useful in his life. I'm sorry, GI, but you know, we're trying here. Cool. And that's it on this deck. I hope y'all liked it. What substitutions would you make? I always love to hear your comments. Again, if you came here from the Force Unlimited, it's great to have you. I look forward to doing more Twin Sun stuff, trilogy stuff, gameplays of Twin Suns, all kinds of wonderful things. Of course, I'll report about what my plans are for sectors, because, oh my gosh, y'all, I got my ticket to go to sectors. I'm not going to play seriously. It'll probably be like Galactics. I'll play a few games and drop. But mostly I was like, oh, they have a Babu Frick playmat. Of course I'm going to get the Babu Frick playmat. Oh my gosh. Because if anybody saw the stupid Mano droid deck I was running, you'd know I love the Frickster. Is that what people in the know call him? The Frickster? So anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching these. We are almost at 500 subscribers. That is so cool. I would like to say I can get something special done for that. We'll see what happens. You know, I've had my hands full with like moving into this new house, and we're just going to kind of like get things done as they get done. So that's going to do it for me. And until next time, let's do this again sometime.